Fortunately, it's inevitable. We had stopped at 81 last class. बहुप्रसाद सुस्वप्नो दर्पणो तत्त्वमित्रजित् वेदकारो मंत्रकारो विद्वान् समरमर्दनः. We have seen that it is Shiva who is the berserk warlord, and he is also the most sattvic scholar there is. Let's continue. महामेघनिवासी च महाघोरो वशीकरः अग्निर्ज्वालो महाज्वालो अतिधूम्रो हुतो हविः महामेघनिवासी च महाघोरो वशीकरः अग्निर्ज्वालो महाज्वालो अतिधूम्रो हुतो हविः महामेघनिवासी च महाघोरो वशीकरः अग्निर्ज्वालो महाज्वालो अतिधूम्रो हुतो हविः. What does it say? It says Mahamegha Nivasi. He is the Mahamegha Nivasi, one who resides in the big clouds. Mahamegha means the storm clouds, the thunderstorm clouds. You can think of them as being the hurricanes, the cyclones. So he lives or dwells in those clouds. So what does it mean? You see, Rudra, as is depicted in the Vedas, is the howler. He comes with 49 winds. You can also, some texts say it is 52. So he comes with 52 winds called the Maruts. And the description is so vivid. When he comes like the hurricane. He comes like a tornado. So that is he is the lord of weather, of climate, and especially so of the Vayu Tattva, of winds and air. Right? So he is Rudra, the howler, and the destruction that he wreaks havoc in every place he goes, much akin to what his philosophical representation is, which is of the Pralayantakari. Mahamegha Nivasi Cha Mahaghoraha. He is very ferocious, absolutely terrifying. He sends chills down our spines. The very form itself is absolutely stunning and terrorizing. Vashikaraha. He causes hypnosis. He hypnotizes us. Not only is he terrorizing, but at the same time, he's so charming, so manipulative that he can also captivate us, can capture our attention. Agni, he is also of the form of fire. He's the element fire. And fire just need not literally mean the fire, the flame that we see on the stove in the Havanas or at the end of a matchstick. It is not so. Agni in the Tattva form actually represents all energies. So heat energy, wind energy, any solar energy and such. Anything which has energy is represented by the element of Agni. Anything which is liquid or is fluid is represented by the element called Apas. So it is very poorly translated as water. And many cultures actually thought just that water is one of the elements. It is not so. If water alone is one of the elements, what about oil? Is oil not an element? It is. So the term Apas actually refers to fluids. So Agni refers to something which is energy, Urja, and Vayu represents something which moves. Vati iti Vayuhu, something which moves. So all gases are come under the umbrella term of Vayu. All fluids come under the Tattva of Apas. All solids come under the Tattva of Prithvi. And all that which is um, ethereal, that which does not have a form, it comes under the tattva of Akasha. So these are the five elements. And at various points, Shiva is equated with each of these five elements. And here he is equated with the Agni, the energy. Jwalaha. Now, Jwala actually refers to that visible flame of heat. Jwalaha. Mahajwalaha. He is the great fire. Ati Dhumraha. He is that fire which uh, creates a lot of smoke. Ati Dhumraha. And Hutaha. He is also that fire which has extinguished itself. Hutaha. Havihi. Havihi is, he is the oblation, the offering which is made to the yajna. So this entire last line of the shloka describes him in the tattva of energy and fire and heat. Agnir jwalo mahajwalo ati dhumraha huto havihi. Huta is extinguished. Havihi is the offering made to the Homa. महामेघनिवासी च महाघोरो वशीकरः अग्निर्ज्वालो महाज्वालो अतिधूम्रो हुतो हविः वृषणः शङ्करो नित्यं वर्चस्वी धूमकेतनः नीलस्तथाङ्गलुब्धश्च शोभनो निरवग्रहः नीलस्तथाङ्गलुब्धश्च शोभनो निरवग्रहः. How is that pronounced? नीलस्तथाङ्गलुब्धश्च शोभनो निरवग्रहः वृषणः शङ्करो नित्यं वर्चस्वी धूमकेतनः नीलस्तथाङ्गलुब्धश्च शोभनो निरवग्रहः वृषणः शङ्करो नित्यं वर्चस्वी धूमकेतनः नीलस्तथाङ्गलुब्धश्च शोभनो निरवग्रहः. This shloka describes him as being Vrishana. Vrishana is the one who is very virile. So he is Vrishana, one who is very fertile. Some texts do describe him as having, as being a Nitya Brahmachari. And he is also the one who ejaculates a lot. So that is equated to being a Vrishana, one who is very fertile, like an ox. Vrishanaha. Shankaraha. So that word thus is used to depict his very masculine nature. Shankaraha. Shankaraha is, he is of course the the well-being doer. So Sham is well-being and Kara means to do. Shamkara means one who creates or does good to us, who has goodwill. Shankaraha Nityam. He is the eternal. Varchasvi. Varchasvi is, we have seen this. What is Varchas? Varchas is Tejas. It is the subtlemost form or the social form of Tejas is called Varchas. You say, in Kannada at least we have this word Varchas. On a Varchas ke dhakke bante hote hai. So Varchas is somewhat related to fame, but more so it is how charming you are. So that is what Varchas is. How magnetic, how people perceive you to be magnetic is called Varchas. And Varchasvi is thus one who is very charming, magnetic, very radiant. Varchasvi. Dhuma one who is like a comet. Dhumaketu is also a comet. Dhumaketana is also a comet. Dhumaketu is the comet which orbits the sun. And Shiva is of that supreme cosmic form of comets too. He is not just the limited personal yogi sitting in the Himalayas. He is Dhumaketanaha. Neelas. Neelaha means one who is very dark in complexion. Neelaha. And we also say Neela Megha Shyama, right? So Neela is dark gray, kind of dark purple also, Neela. And by the way, Shani is also referred to as Neela. We say Neelanjana Samabhasam Raviputram Yamagrajam. So Shani, being a dark planet, a very malefic planet, is also called Neela. And we also have already discussed how Shani is also uh, a form of Shiva itself. Neela is the dark lord. Tatha Anga Lubdhascha. Tatha means also. He is also the Anga Lubdha, one who is, very greedy, Lubdha, one who is very greedy or robbed of his Angas. So there are two meanings to this. Anga Lubdha means one who is very greedy for organs, or one who has been robbed of his organs. So what does it mean? You see, Angalubdha, in the first meaning, where he is greedy for organs, means he is greedy for, um, he has this bloodlust. Angalubdha, he has this bloodlust, and thus in his nature of being the destroyer, he he is waiting for us to die so that he can harvest our organs. So he's Angalubdha. And the other meaning is he himself is robbed of the organs because he is no mere mortal. He's beyond mortal and the physical form. So he has been robbed of his organs in that sense. Neelas tathanga lubdhascha shobhanaha. Very beautiful, very attractive. Shobhanaha, something which is auspicious. And he is also Niravagraha. Niravagraha. So he has forfeited all control. He has let go of all control over others. At other places, we have seen he is Avagraha. He is the supremost controller. He is the Niyanta. And in this case, he is being described as being one who also has let go of all control over his surroundings. And he is just reveling in his own serenity, in his own calm. Niravagraha. Vrishanashankaro nityam varchasvi dhoomaketanaha नीलस्तथांग लुब्धश्च शोभनो निरवग्रहः. There's a chat here. Usha Rani says brilliance. Yes, Varchas is brilliance. Correct. Namaste. Is there a question? I see. No. Swasti daswasti bhavascha bhagi bhagakaro laghuhu उत्संगश्च महांगश्च महागर्भपरायणः स्वस्ति भावश्च भागी भागकरो लघुः उत्संगश्च महांगश्च महागर्भपरायणः स्वस्ति भावश्च भागी भागकरो लघुः उत्संगश्च महांगश्च महागर्भपरायणः. Swastidah, one who provides. Again, swasti also means well-being, welfare. One who brings welfare to us is swasti, swastidah. And for those of you curious to know the etymology of swasti, it comes from su and asti. So you may have seen this very synonymous word vastu or written on the walls of newly built homes, right? Swasti and they write vastu. Swasti and vastu. They are synonymous. And so they just mean su asti, good being, well-being. It literally means well-being. Su asti, swasti. Swasti daha, one who brings well-being. Swasti bhavascha, one who is of the form of well-being itself. So the question may come, how do we bring, what is well-being? Define well-being. And it is very hard to define it even, economically, politically, spiritually, even what well-being actually means, even anthropologically. or sociologically. It is a very vague term. Somehow we all seem to understand it, yet we cannot really lay a finger on it and say this is the actual definition of well-being. So, and any indescribable phenomenon in the universe, of course, is all God itself, and that is Shiva. Swasti Bhavascha, he is the form of well-being. Bhagi, one who uh, is with divisions. Bhaga means divisions or partitions. One who is with Bhaga, with the partition, is called Bhagi. And he is also the Bhagakara, one who also brings the divisions about, one who creates boundaries, one who draws the lines is Bhagakara. You see, Bhagi can be understood in the sense that now there is this the philosophy called pantheism, right? Which in Indian context is called Vishishtadvaita, somewhat close to that. So God is envisioned as being the corpse or the body of the universe. The body of God is basically the entire summation of the universe. And thus, all the divisions of the body, for example, we have fingers, we have palm, skin, bones, muscles, mind, and indriyas, etc., etc. So similarly, if we were to think of the universe as being the body of God, here it has many divisions, many specializations, many special tissues, differentiated tissues. So that is Shiva itself, Bhagi. All those divisions are also Shiva, and the entire body which has these divisions is also Shiva. Bhagakara is one who draws the line, one who creates divisions. Laghu is one who is small, one who is small in stature. Laghu. Utsangascha, one who is above Sangha. Utsanga means one who is above Sangha. One who actually needs no company. You see, all of us in most of our relationships, because we hate to be alone. You know, we call that loneliness the disease of mankind, right? And so in each of our relationships, all of us, without without uh, taking any particular names, all of us, we crave for relationships, we crave for friendships, we crave for um, ways to evade this loneliness. And that is Sangha, that is this company. We crave company, be it a permanent company like a marriage or temporary like friends, etc. So we still crave something for being with others. That is called Sangha. Utsanga is one who is above that need, one who has transcended that need for company. And he is always depicted, Shiva. I mean, of course, in our calendar pictures, he's depicted always with Parvati. However, in the true depiction, I mean, he prefers to be depicted as being this lonely recluse of the Himalayas, right? Because it is to show that he has risen above his need for company. Mahangascha, he has large organs, Mahanga. So he has a very vast, enormous, gigantic body, Mahangahacha. Mahagarbha Parayanaha. Garbha means the fetus. Garbha means the fetus. Mahagarbha Parayanaha. So he who's you know uh, the main purpose of his see, Parayana is very hard to define. Parayana means one who is engrossed in it. When I say Vidya Parayana, it means one who is engrossed or who has surrendered his life for the sake of Vidya. So that is what Parayana means. In this context, Mahagarbha Parayana means one whose sole aim or sole purpose of coming into existence was to bring about the Garbha, was to bring about the fetus, which was Brahma, the Hiranya Garbha, so to speak. So he, as the father of the universe, like we have discussed this, time and space, which is the mother of the universe, they came together, and thus was born this splendid little Spota, this explosion of energy, which was in the form of a circle or a sphere, which was called the Hiranyagarbha, from which was born the first deity, which was Brahma. So, and this is also, you see, mm, even socially, if you see, as soon as the bride and the groom are married, the first question that society and everybody around them asks them is, when is the good news, right? When is the baby being born? And whether good or bad, the entire purpose of a marriage was basically to create uh, to not create an illegitimate child. So to give this child some legitimacy in society. And thus, the entire purpose of this sexual union was to create this fetus. And so, the time and space coming together to create this, to create the firstborn deity Brahma, that entire concept is explained in just one simple word, which is Mahagarbha Parayanaha. So, Parayana means one whose purpose or one who's coming into existence or one who motivation, objective behind union with the space was to create this egg. Mahagarbha Parayana. Swasti swasti bhavascha bhagi bhagakaro laghuhu utsangascha mahangascha mahagarbha parayana Krishna varnas सुवर्णश्च इन्द्रियं सर्वदेहिनां महापादो महाहस्तो महाकायो महायशाः कृष्णवर्णः सुवर्णश्च इन्द्रियम् excuse me कृष्णवर्णः सुवर्णश्च इन्द्रियं सर्वदेहिनां महापादो महाहस्तो महाकायो महायशाः कृष्णवर्णः सुवर्णश्च इन्द्रियं सर्वदेहिनां महापादो महाहस्तो महाकायो महायशाः. He is of the Varna, the color of black, Krishna. He is dark, we have seen he is Neela, Krishna Varnaha. And why? What does it signify? So dark, like we have seen, is like a black hole. Something which absorbs everything is black. So you throw galis at him, he will absorb it. You throw praises at him, he will absorb it. You throw bhakti at him, well and good for him. You throw dvesha at him, that's also fine. He accepts it. And so this, because he actually needs nothing from us, he is open to accepting, he becomes all accepting. And he has nothing to prove to anybody also. You see, even us in society, as humans, once we have come to terms with ourselves, and once we have accepted ourselves in our totality, for all our quirks, for all our pet peeves, for all our goods and bads, which is what the psychology calls it as accepting the shadow. Once we have seen ourselves clearly, self-analyzed, somehow we come to peace with ourselves. We make peace with ourselves, and thus slowly the need to prove to others, the need for correcting others, the need to show to others or guide others for their sake for our sake becomes very less. So we become, in a way, like Shiva, all accepting. We become totally tolerant. We understand people for their motives, and we stop reacting to circumstances from our animal center. So there are two centers, the animal center and then the human center. So one is the manas and then the buddhi. So buddhi is said to be the center of the manu, of the manava. And manas is said to be the center of the animal, the pashu. Anyway, so coming back to, so he is called black, he is of the form of black, but he is also suvarna. He is also the golden color. He also has a very attractive color. And there it represents, see, Krishna represents tamasic, Suvarna represents golden, which is Rajasic. He is of the guna of both rajas and tamas. Suvarnascha Indriyam. Indriyam Sarvadehinam. He is the form of the Indriyas which are present in all living creatures. Dehi means living creatures. Sarvadehinam Indriyam. Of all living creatures, he is that manifestation of the Indriyas. You see, now see, I'm looking at the laptop. I say I'm able to look at the laptop because I have eyes. But do all people who have eyes, are they able to look at the laptop and understand what it means? No. So there are people who are blind also. They still have eyes, but they are not able to, uh, like they can't really visually see it. So which means it is not the eyes which is seeing. It may be helping to see, but it is definitely not seeing. So then what is seeing? What is helping us see? Okay, the biologists say it is the retina. These doctors say it is the retina which is present at the wall, which is making us see. So then what about those creatures which don't have the retina? Are they still not able to see? So the question there again becomes, it is not even the retina, it is, the optical nerves which are carrying the signal to the brain, which is helping us see. Again, the same logic can be used. There are so many oysters, all these cactus, and all these sponges, which are able to sense their surroundings without having nerves. What about them? So when we dig deeper and deeper, we come to a place where not even something as common knowledge as seeing, which we at least think to like seem to understand, or which we take for granted. Even that we actually don't know truly what it is and how it actually works. And here the Shastras are saying, this Stotram is saying that Indriya, that faculty which is helping us experience our surroundings, that is Shiva itself. That is also God. Mahapadaha. Now, all these are very simple to understand, so I'll just breeze over them quickly. Mahapada, one who has large limbs. Mahahasta, large arms. Mahakaya, big body. Mahayasha, one who has great fame. Mahamurdha, one who has a large head. Mahamatra, one who has great sound. Mahamatra. Mahanetra, one who has big eyes. And then now I'll explain the others. Krishnavarnas suvarnascha indriyam sarvadehinam mahapado mahahasto mahakayo mahayashah mahamurdha mahamatro mahanetro nishalayah महान्तको महाकर्णो महोष्ठश्च महाहनुः महामूर्धा महामात्रो महानेत्रो निशालयः महान्तको महाकर्णो महोष्ठश्च महाहनुः महामूर्धा महामात्रो महानेत्रो निशालयः महान्तको महाकर्णो महोष्ठश्च महाहनुः. In the same way, let me go further. Mahanaso mahakambur mahagrivaśmashanabhak mahavaksha mahorasko hyantaratma mrigalayah mahanaso mahakambur mahagrivash shmashanabhak Mahavaksha Mahorasko Hyantaratma Mrigalayah Mahanaso Mahakambur Mahagrivashmashanabhak Mahavaksha Mahorasko Hyantaratma Mrigalayah. So Mahamurdha is one who has a large head. Mahamatra, one who has a large voice, like deep voice. Mahanetro, big eyes. Nishalayah, Nisha is night. Alaya is one who dwells in the night. Or is called Nishalaya. You can join from here. Nishalaya. one who sleeps or one who has made the night itself his home, Nishalayaha. It also refers to Chandra because Chandra again dwells in the night. So he is Nishalaya. Mahantakaha. Antaka we have seen. It means one who kills. Mahantakaha, one who kills. Mahakarnaha, who has large ears. Mahoshtaha, large lips. Oshtha is lips. Mahoshtaha cha. Mahahanu, one who has big cheeks. So Mahantaka, Antaka is one who ends, one who slays, one who destroys. The great destroyer, the great person having, I mean, the one with the great ears, great lips, and thick cheeks. Mahahanu. Mahanasa, big nose. Mahakambu. Kambu is the the part just below the chin. So that is called Kambu. Mahagriva is the neck, the the lower neck, Griva, and Shmashana Bhak, one who resides or one who lives and takes food in Shmashana, one who resides in the Shmashana, the crematorial grounds, the burial grounds. So Shmashana Bhak. Mahavaksha. Vaksha is chest. Mahorasko. So Uras and both Vaksha are synonymous, but so you can think of Vaksha as being the upper chest and Uras is the lower chest. Mahavaksha, Mahorasko. He Antaratma. He is the indweller, the innermost soul of us. So this Sri Ramana Maharshi says it very nicely. You see, I, which is what the Advaita calls as Atma, the self, is the innermost feeling that one can access. So when we question the I itself, we find no answer to it. Everything else can be questioned, but the I is the wall. I mean, the buck stops with I. You say right. So the buck, literally, the buck of all questioning stops with the I. So he is the Antaratma. He is the indwelling soul, and Mrigalayaha, one who resides in the Mrigas, one who resides in the animals. And this is not zoo, though we call Mrigalaya as zoo, but Mrigeshu Alayaha Yasya Saha, one who resides in the Mrigas is Shiva. Mahanaso Mahakambur Mahagrivashmashana Bhag Mahavaksha Mahorasko Hyantaratma Mrigalayah Lambano Lambitoshthascha Mahamayaf Payonidhi. Now pay attention whenever the Visarga comes. Now, since many newcomers are here, I'm just explaining once again. The Visarga, when it is followed by Pa or Pha, the Visarga turns into a F sound, F. Lambano lambitoshthascha mahamayaf payonidhihi mahadanto mahadamstro mahajihvo mahamukhaha Lambano lambitoshthascha mahamayaf payonidhihi Mahadanto mahadamstro mahajihvo mahamukhaha. This word here is lambitoshtha. Lambitoshtha. Lambita oshtha becomes lambitoshtha. Lambitoshtha. Lambano lambitosthascha mahamayaf payonidhihi Mahadanto mahadamstro mahajihvo mahamukhaha. Lambanaha, one who is tall. Lambitoshthaha, one who has very wide lips. Lambita means very slender, wide lips. Lambitoshthaha cha. And Mahamayaha, he is the greatest magician. In the Dakshinamurti Stotram, in one of the shlokas, Adi Shankaracharya says, uh, Mayaviv vijrumbhayatyapi mahayogi vayasvechaya. So just as a magician brings out things from, let's say a hat, which are actually not there, apparently it seems to emerge out of nothing. So that in that way he compares Shiva, the Mahayogi, the Mahamayavi, as bringing about this universe when it is technically not even there. A very splendid example if you actually think about it very deeply. So he, Shiva, or God rather, is the Mahamayaha. He is the greatest magician for putting on an appearance of this entire universe, which seems so very real to all of us. Mahamayaha Payonidhihi. Payonidhi is one who is the ocean itself. Payas means water. Nidhi means one which has an abundance of water, which is basically the ocean. So Payonidhi represents the ocean, which Shiva is. So he is as vast as the ocean, and he is himself also the ocean. Mahadanta, who has large teeth. Mahadamshtra, large fangs. Fangs. You may have seen in depictions of Kala Bhairava, of Veerabhadra, and the ferocious forms of Shiva as having these fangs, protruding fangs. And he has such big fangs. Mahajihvaha, a large tongue. Mahajihvaha, and Mahamukha, a big face. Now, why is now all these 3, 4 shlokas are just describing Shiva in his cosmic form, where each of his organs are into 10,000 times. And the point of telling all of these repeatedly, Maha, Maha, one is to create this sense of exaggeration, to create this sense of awe, AWE, awe. You see, when we look at, I think again, it was Swami Chinmayanandam who must have told this. I forget who exactly it was, but he describes this awe, this sense of awesome, right? When we stand before a hill or before a canyon, before a huge waterfall, we are humbled. And why are we humbled? And why do we feel this awe? Why do we feel this wonder and bewilderment? It is because there is this innate sense of accepting the magnitude or the supremitude of the object that we are just witnessing currently. So when that happens, subconsciously we tend to see that we are so limited, so small in before such a magnitude, and gradually the mind loosens its control over the ego. So you see, the ego is like the center of a circle, and the manas is the circle, the periphery of the circle. And as long as there is a periphery, you can identify a center. Once you have erased the periphery, is there any, can you really identify a center? It is not. So there, it loses its definition of being a center. So thus, when the mind is dissolved, when it confronts something which is many times supreme and many times large than itself. And for that very reason, even in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 11th chapter, when Arjuna comes face to face for the very first time with the beautitude of and the magnitude of Sri Krishna in his cosmic form, the Vishwa Rupa, he actually says, Vyatitoham, I am actually Pravyatitantaratma. He says, my mind has become so turbulent, witnessing such a vast form for the very first time, and it has actually become very scared, and it is dissolving, it is losing its sense of balance. And so that was because Arjuna was not prepared to witness it. And so a really prepared person, actually the bhakta basically, he loves to surrender. Why does he surrender to the Supreme? It is only because there is this subconscious desire to lose oneself before a thing which is much greater in magnitude. And for that objective, all these shlokas are describing Shiva, and they are inflating his stature. Not that he does not really have a stature, but in our minds at least, his stature should be so vast that we lose our own identity and we surrender before him. Moving on. महानखो महारोमा महाकेशो महाजटः प्रसन्नश्च प्रसादश्च प्रत्ययो गिरिसाधनः महानखो महारोमा महाकेशो महाजटः प्रसन्नश्च प्रसादश्च प्रत्ययो गिरिसाधनः महानखो महारोमा महाकेशो महाजटः प्रसन्नश्च प्रसादश्च प्रत्ययो गिरिसाधनः. Once again, it says he has big nails, Mahanakha. Maharoma, he has big body hair, Maharoma. Mahakeshaha, very large, hair on the head, Mahakeshaha. And Mahajataha, and those hairs are in the form of a jata, the matted locks. Mahajataha. Prasannascha, he is supremely calm. Prasannaha, he is smiling. Prasadascha, he is of the form of happiness itself. Prasadascha. Pratyayaha, pratyaya means belief. He is the form of belief, of Shraddha. Pratyaya means Shraddha. So he is happiness as well as pratyaya, which is belief or opinions. Belief or opinions or assumptions are called pratyayas. And he is also the Giri Sadhanaha, one who walks, one who treks the Himalayas, one who treks on the hills, the mountains. Giri Sadhanaha. So he is the OG, the first, hiker. Mahanakho Maharoma Mahakesho Mahajataha Prasannascha Prasadascha Pratyayo Girisadhanaha. Next shloka says Snehano Snehanash Chaiva Ajitash Cha Mahamunihi Vrikshakaro Vrikshaketu Ranilo Vayuvahanaha. Pay attention. Snehano Snehanash Chaiva Ajitash Cha Mahamunihi Vrikshakaro Vrikshaketu Ranilo Vayuvahanaha. This word, when actually split, is Vrikshaketuhu and Anilaha. For the sake of pronunciation, you can say Vrikshaketu Ranilo Vayuvahanaha. Snehano Snehanash Chaiva Ajitash Cha Mahamunihi Vrikshakaro Vrikshaketu Ranilo. I'm very sorry, it is Anala. I've been pronouncing it wrong. Snehano Snehanaschaiva Ajitascha Mahamunihi Vrikshakaro Vrikshaketu Ranalo Vayuvahanaha. Snehano Snehanaschaiva Ajitascha Mahamunihi Vrikshakaro Vrikshaketu Ranalo Vayuvahanaha. Snehana, one who is with friends, is called Snehanaha. One who is very affable, very amicable, is Snehanaha. Asnehanaha, one who is very, inamicable. He cannot be really befriended. So he is Asnehanaha. Asnehana Chaiva. So there are two phases of Shiva. States of Shiva, I would say rather. One where he is Bahirmukha, one when he is in the pravritti mode, when he is engaging with samsara, he is very snehana, very approachable, very benign. But in his recluse form, when he sits in his tapasya, he becomes very asnehana. He becomes very unapproachable And all these rishis had to wait for years and millennia on end before they could get the darshana of Shiva. And more so, even when they did get the darshana of Shiva, they had to wait for millennia, for millions of years before he actually came back to the material plane and opened his eyes from his samadhi. So Asnehana, he is very unapproachable, very hard to befriend. The most classic example of Parvati herself, when she wanted to wed Shiva, she performed very intense tapasya in order to befriend him, and still he was uncompromisingly in his own tapasya. Asnehanaha cha eva ajitaha, one who is unconquered and unconquerable, one who still is yet to be conquered. Nobody has been successful in winning over him. Ajitaha cha Mahamunihi, he is the great sage. Vrikshakaraha, he is of the form of Vriksha, Vriksha Akaraha, one who takes the form of a vriksha, of a tree. We have seen this many times. He is of the form of Ashwatha, of Nyagrodha, and other all such trees. He's also called Harikesha for being the tree which has green leaves and the form of vegetation itself. Vriksha Ketuhu, he is the flag of the tree. What does it mean? So you see, if you were to imagine a tree as a stick, as the danda, the flag of it would be the leaves. So he is the tree and he is the leaves. So Vriksha Ketu is a synonym for leaves. Vriksha Ketuhu. Analaha. Anala means fire. Analaha. Vayu Vahanaha. We have seen, because he is Agni, he is also the fire Anala. And Vayu Vahanaha. Vayu is wind. He moves by the wind. He makes Vayu itself, the wind itself, his Vahana, his mount, and he moves with the wind. Vayu Vahanaha. And by the way, Vayu Vahana also has a yogic meaning. You see, the Vayu, the element of Vayu, is present most dominantly in the heart center. And the heart, it's called the Anahata Chakra. And at the heart, the element Vayu is in its supremost glory. And if you actually see how it relates, that is also the center where two most important systems are. One is the heart, which is the circulatory system, and also the lungs, which is the respiratory system. And Vayu, like we have already seen, is something which moves, fluids or gases which move. And that being at the center where there's the motor, right? The heart is the motor which is pumping out blood, and the lungs, which is the motor which is pumping out air and bringing in air. So that is it's very appropriate that they have placed the heart center, the Anahata chakra, and made Vayu the dominating element of that chakra. And also Shiva resides at this center in the form of Maruti. Now, this Marut is actually a concept from the Vedas, and Maruti, as we have seen from the Itihasas and Puranas, relates to Hanuman, who also is said to be an Amsha of Shiva. And there is also these folklores where he actually, tears his chest open to show his bhakti, right? And we always, when it comes to bhakti, we associate it with the element of Vayu. And in fact, the entire Madhva Parampara dates itself to Vayu, the god Vayu. Madhva, Bhima, Hanuman, all these are from the Vayu lineage. And we also say bhakti and love. Where do we say love resides? We say it's in the heart, right? So all of these are just correlations, of course, but these correlations definitely seem to have something deeper which is connecting all of them together, and that could be this tattva of Shiva as being the Vayu Vahana. He moves with the wind, with movement. He is also the Anala. Anala is fire. And an interesting derivation of this word Anala is one, Yasya alameva nasti saha Analaha. One who never says enough. He is said to be Anala. You see, when there is a fire burning, you can keep fueling it as much as you want. And it never says, "No, this much fuel is enough for me. Now let me extinguish myself." It never happens so. So in that description, the rishis and whoever coined this term, thought Agni should also be called the Analaha. स्नेहनो स्नेहनश्चैव अजितश्च महामुनिः वृक्षाकारो वृक्षकेतुरनलो वायुवाहनः गण्डली मेरुधामा च देवाधिपतिरेव च अथर्वशीर्षः सामास्य ऋत्सहस्रामिते क्षणः. Listen carefully. This word is Rik Sahasra Amita Ikshana. But while pronouncing, you can say Rik Sahasra Mite Kshana. Rik Sahasra Mite Kshana. Rik Sahasra Mite Kshana. गंडली मेरुधामा च देवाधिपतिरेव च अथर्वशीर्षः सामास्य ऋक्सहस्रामिते क्षणः गंडली मेरुधामा च देवाधिपतिरेव च अथर्वशीर्षः सामास्य ऋक्सहस्रामिते क्षणः. Gandali is one who has one of the meanings. I am not sure of the other. There's to be another meaning. Let me just get back to you about this tomorrow. Gandali, one of you please remind me. Gandali, Ganda is the cheeks, right? Gandali is one who has very cute, chubby cheeks. Gandali. Merudhama, one who resides, one who has made his residence at Mount Meru. So he has a very lavish palace up in the Meru mountain. Spiritually, it also means, you see the Merudanda, as we term it, is actually the spine. And the spine is also the place where the Kundali energy resides. Very aptly, Shiva is also depicted as that energy, which is Merudhama, one which resides in the Meru mountain. Cha Devadhipatihi. It's quite straightforward. Devadhipatihi, one who is the supremost commander of the Devas. Atharva Shirshaha. He is the head of the Atharva. Now it literally means the head of Atharva. So it refers to the Atharva Veda. And the Shirsha means the head, which means the topmost point of Atharva, the Atharvana Veda, is called Atharva Shirsha. So what does the head depict? You see, when we are taking a picture for our official documents, do we ever stand in full? I mean, is there ever a picture of all hands, legs, the stomach, all of it together? No. We only take the picture of only from the neck above. And why is that so? Could you please be on mute? Thanks. So even when we talk to people, we never look at their hands, or neither do we look at their legs. I mean, worse yet would be to look at the stomach. But we always look at the face, because we somehow feel intuitively that the face is the summation of the identity. It is where the identity is. So Atharva Shirsha thus refers to the essence, the summary, the gist of the Atharva. And so he is the meaning, the entire purport of the Atharva Veda. And according to Advaita, it is that Vakya which is Ayam Atma Brahma. So that which says this Atma, this self, in its purest form is Brahma. It is the supremost principle. So that is called the Atharva Shirsha, the head, this essence of the Atharva Veda. In fact, there are many such other statements too. And there is also many suktas which are called the Atharva Shirshas. So there is the Ganapati Atharva Shirsha, there is the Shiva Atharva Shirsha, Devi Atharva Shirsha, and so on. These are hymns which are dedicated to particular deities, praising them, eulogizing them in their supremost aspect, in their form as being that Brahma itself. Samasya. Samasya means one who is of the form of uh, Samaveda. Sama Asya. Asya means the Mukha. So he is the again the Mukha, the essence of Samaveda, which is again Prajnanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, and what is the third? Tattvamasi. He is that Tattvamasi Vakya, the meaning of Tattvamasi itself. Rik Sahasra Amitekshanaha. Rik means Rigveda, is again the head of the Rigveda, which is Prajnanam Brahma. And Sahasra Amitekshanaha. Sahasra means 1,000. Amita means uncountable, unlimited, infinite. Ikshana. Ikshana means the eyes. One who has 1,000 and more infinite eyes. So 1,000, nobody has really counted if Shiva has 1,000 eyes, but it refers to that principle which is the seer of everything. S-E-E-R, the seer, the onlooker of the watcher of everything, the witness of everything. Therefore, in that sense, he is Sahasra Amitekshanaha. He has more than 1,000 unlimited eyes. So we can stop here. Let's quickly run over the people here and ask a few shlokas from them. By the way, before that, is there anything that you wish to add? Any inputs, any remarks, any comments, something which you would like to add or question? Please go ahead. Yes, Usha ma'am, please go ahead.
That was a very good explanation with the appropriate translation as much as possible. Though there are no equivalent in English to a Sanskrit, which is natural. So I have a couple of things. In the editor, this one, it says Angana Buddha. It says Hagakaru. So this one so it's also a divided. It is Angana The second thing is Mahagarbha in one of the sloka subsequent sloka. It presented the Garbha is a book rather than the figures or something. Having to my Mahagarbha originates from Vishnu's level. So how Shiva is related to this? Because we have witnessed Brahma originating from Vishnu's level. That's the second point. And the third is like just Googled it, like Gandali.
I see.
Says it's a cheek.
Cheek.
Sorry, becomes a Gandali. Also, it means a boil or a cheek.
Cheek. Okay.
Might be much more details in the Sanskrit dictionary.
Right.
First is Angalabha and Hagi. Second thing is Mahagarbha, Brahma originating from Vishnu's level, and the role of Shiva in this Mahagarbha.
Right. Wonderful questions. I mean, I'm so happy and I am actually honored that people have been paying very close attention, and this is so actually very fulfilling in itself. Yes, so coming to the third question first. Yes, Gandali, like I said, it is chubby cheeks, but yeah, the other meaning I didn't know. Thank you for pointing it out. When it comes to Angalubdha, you see, this is a very peculiar word because I have not seen this in any of the dictionaries, what Angalupta actually means. And in what context, I am also, quite unsure in what way is he robbed of his organs. But this is how I interpreted it as thinking. He is also, now one other meaning of Lubdha is actually a hunter. Lubdhaka actually means a hunter. So one who hunts or harvests organs is called Angalubdha. And it refers to him in his archetype of being the primordial hunter. And if you have heard the story of Valmiki before he was Ratnakara, and he used to rob people, and he used to be a dacoit. And similarly, is a case with Angulimala in the Buddha story, where he used to kill people, rob them, and then harvest their organs. So now Shiva represents that very fierce, violent person in the forest. You see, to walk in the forest, one already is fearing the wild animals. And secondly, if we were to think of humans itself who may have all these tools with them, so they are in fact sometimes more fierce. These tribes, these uncontacted tribes, are more fierce than wild animals, and they can also be very manipulative. So he represents that aspect, which is very violent, the violent aspect of nature, and he is also the hunter. So in that sense, he may be the harvester of organs. If anybody else has a better answer, please feel free to uh, answer that. And let me just answer the second one also. Bhagi and Bhagakara. Yes, there is a contradiction. And it actually is not just in these two words, but we have been seeing it from the very first sloka also. And many of them have been witness to this, because there is always this innate contradiction when he says he is Krishna Varna and he is also Suvarna. So if Shiva is black, how can he also be golden? Right? So there is just this contradiction in every second verse. And that is resolved only when we change our paradigm to think of Shiva as not being this one person who is described in all these Puranas as, holding the Trishula, sitting in the Himalayas, uh, you know, and blessing people sometimes, and then going back to his samadhi, etc. So yes, that is also one of the depictions, and that has been also been described in the stotram. However, Shiva is being now proclaimed. You see, in the very first, the preface itself, we have seen that Brahma described Shiva in his aspect of being Parameshwara, as being Brahma. Brahmanamapi yat Brahma, Paranamapi yat Param, the supremost deity, the supremost aspect uh, of being Brahma, which is that Brahman itself. Shiva is that. And so, with that paradigm in mind, Yattad Brahma Sanatanam, he is that Sanatana, he is that Parameshwara, he is that unchanging eternal principle. And as that principle which is omnipresent and omniscient, and now if I say God is present everywhere, is he not present in the evil people? He is. Is he not present in the good people? He is. Is he not present in the organs? He is. Is he present in the boundaries? He is. So in that sense, each of these are pointers again and again. These seeming paradoxes, these seeming contradictions are pointers for us to wash ourselves of this personality-based worship of Shiva and embrace a more abstract, omnipresent God wala paradigm. So that is how I look at this. Yes, you're right. Bhagi means one who has these divisions, who has these parts, and Bhagakara means one who brings about, divides them into these parts. The meaning is absolutely correct, but this contradiction is resolved only when we look at Shiva not as this personal God, but this supreme abstract God. Yes, correct. Yes, thank you. The third question was Mahagarbha Parayana. So Garbha, so Bhruna is the, you can say the third trimester wala baby is called Bhruna, which is living. Garbha is that baby which is there in the first two trimesters. That is the technical definition of Garbha. And the womb actually is called the yoni. There is no technical term. It's called the yoni itself. And it is also sometimes called Garbhashaya, means where the Garbha resides, Garbhashaya. It's also called the amniotic sac is called the Garbhambudhi. The Ambudhi means like an ocean or like a vessel of water which is surrounding the Garbha. So in all these, you can look up that Garbha actually means the fetus itself. It is not the womb. In Kannada and other vernaculars, we say Garbha means the womb, but actually in Samskrta, Garbha means the fetus. And Mahagarbha here refers to that Hiranyagarbha. So there's this concept of Hiranyagarbha, which is that there was this golden egg. Now, the creation myth that you are referring to, ma'am, of Brahma being born from a navel is from a Vishnu Purana, where the Vishnu was the first deity, and then came Brahma, and from Brahma came Rudra. So that is a Vishnu Purana based creation process. Whereas the Hiranyagarbha comes in the Rig Veda, where there is these, so the description goes like this. There is a very pitch dark space, and the apas, which means ethereal cosmic waters, are said to flow here. And Kala comes in and he impregnates these waters with his seed, with his bija, with his semen. And that is nourished by the cosmic, the space waters. And it turns into a fetus by fertilization. And this fetus starts shining with it is covered like an egg with golden light. And after it is matured, out comes the Prajapati, which is Brahma, which is what Vedas call as Brahma. This is how creation happened according to the Rig Veda, at least of Brahma and the subsequent Devas. So, in that sense, he is the Mahagarbha Parayana, one whose motivation was to bring the seed or create the first fetus. Mahagarbha Parayana. This is to my knowledge. Uh, any more questions? Yes. I hope it has answered. Miss, thank you. Dhanyawad. Miss Bhavani? Yes.
Ask you if it is possible to get the Shiva parts.
Correct. Yeah. Actually, that's true. Correct. Yeah, it makes sense because linga is kind of nirguna without any organs. Very right. Absolutely. Yeah. Very nice. Correct.
So he's possible that we see in this world. I mean, everything is a dual in nature, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Aspects. So that's what I just.
Very true. Very true. Very true. I mean, very, very valuable input. Yes. Correct. Thank you.
Taken our mind to another level. So very, very beautiful, especially some of the verses were so beautifully explained that I'm really, really, very grateful for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Very blessed that all of you have been attending. Thank you. Any other questions? I'm really happy that many questions came up today, and I welcome more such questions. If not, then we can just quickly go over a few verses. Is there anybody from yesterday? Savita ma'am is there. So would you like to chant a few verses? Which one do you want? It is your pick. You can choose. Okay. So, okay, we'll do one thing. You first chant from 80th, ma'am. From 80 to 90. From here. Yes.
Shudhanyo Jat Shudho Vanyo Gatam Gatam Prasad Susva Veda प्रकार विद्वान् स्मरण समर निवासी च महाघोरो ज्वाल षट्शकरो नित्य वर्चस्वी तोपके स्वस्ति दस्वस्ति भावश्च भागी भागकरो उत्संगश्च महागश्च महागर्भ सुवर्णश्च इन्द्रियं सर्वदेहिना महापादो महाहस्तो महाकायो महायशा महानेत्रो दिशा महोष्ठश्च महाअनो महानासो महाकम्बो महोरस यांतरात्मा मृगालय वितोषश्च महामायः पयो निधिः महादंश महाजिह्वो महामुखः महाकेशो महाचक्रश्च प्रसादश्च प्रयत्योगिरिसा स्नेहनो स्नेहनश्चैव अजितश्च महातिः वृक्षकारो वृक्षकेतुर्नलो वायुवाहनः.
Beautiful. This is very nice. And in fact, each of the Mahapranas were very clearly emphasized and very appropriate, accurately pronounced. Very nice, man.
Thank you.
Who else would SSR Kusu? Could you please unmute?
Sit and listen.
Okay. Sure. No worries. Who else? Usha ma'am, would you like to try a few verses?
80 onwards?
Anything is fine, whichever you prefer. Is this your first time to Shiva Sahasranama?
So,
Okay. So you can try.
I may be wrong in the pronunciation or otherwise the Swara Lopa.
No worries. Please go ahead.
Mahaprasadaha Swara. Can it be zoomed a little? Is it okay?
Okay. Which one? ATF?
Yeah, that's thank you.
Aksharam Paramam.
Vanavachakra evacha nitihi shuddhatma shuddho manyo gata bahu prasadaha suswapno darpagadodha pavitraje vedakaro mantrakaro Viddhans
Samara Mardanaha.
Samara
Mardan.
एक निवासी च महागौरु श्रीकरः महाज्वालो अतिदूरो Can I stop here?
Okay.
So that I get this.
You mean I have scrolled down the PDF file. Okay. Are you a part of the WhatsApp group, ma'am? Okay. I will send it on WhatsApp. Atharva, would you like to try a few verses? You can read from here. Yeah. Which one would you like to read from here? Yeah, go ahead.
महानासो महाकुंभर महाग्रीवश मशानभाग महावक्षा महोरस्को हान्तरात्मा मृगालयः लंबनो लंबतोष्ठश्च महामाया पयोनिधिः महादन्तो महाद्रंष्ट्रो महाजिह्वो महामुखः महानखो महारोमा महाकेशो महाजटः प्रसन्नश्च प्रसादश्च प्रत्ययो गिरिसाधनः स्नेहनो अस्नेह नश्रैव
Snehano Snehanashchaiva.
स्नेहनो अस्नेह
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ನೇಹನೋ ಸ್ನೇಹನಶ್ಚೈವ
स्नेहनो स्नेहनश्चैव अजितश्व महामुनिः
ಅಧಿಚಶ್ಚ
अजितश्च महामुनिः वृक्षाकारो वृक्षकेतुर्नलो अनलो वायुवाहनः गण्डली मेरुधामा च देवाधिपतिरेव च अथर्वशीर्षः सामास्य ऋक्सहस्रामिते क्षणः.
Thank you. Very nice. Let us see if anybody else is here. We have discussed. Indira ma'am has already told. Okay. Bhagyamma, would you like to try? Okay. So see you guys tomorrow. We shall discuss the next set of 10 shlokas, and hopefully it will also be interesting. And let's all hope that our bhakti to Shiva increases day by day. Namaste.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. Uraska means chest, abdomen. One who has a very large abdomen. Vaksha is chest, Uraska is abdomen.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.